don't quit when you don't pass the audition, when you're told no, because if you quit when you're told no, when you're told it's not your time, not you right now, if you quit then, it was never your dream to begin with. Welcome back to the Samantha Show. I'm your host, Samantha. You can call me Sam. Just don't call me Sammy. So I guess this is how we're going to do this, right? This is how we're going to do this. She's got an idea. She's just going to drop a podcast episode randomly out of nowhere. I had this itch. I've been feeling good, and I have had these thoughts, and I'm like, I need to make a podcast episode about this. Like, it's just like the podcast is an extension of my brain. It's my Dear Diary. It is an extension of my social media channel. So anyway, when the inspiration strikes, I'm like, it's time to go. Let's put something out there. Anyway, before I get into this episode, I want to catch you guys up on what's going on in my life. And then I want to talk about the secrets to success. Who wouldn't want to hear about the secrets to success, you know? Anyway, but before we dive into the topic, let me just like kind of catch you guys up. You know, it's been a couple weeks. And I was going to indefinitely pause the podcast. Just had a lot going on, and I wanted to kind of open up my calendar and see what new opportunities come my way, feel a little less pressure to produce and put out material every single week and all these things. And man, life has been going like really good. I don't know how else to articulate how abundantly full in the most loving, best way possible my life is right now. I have just had so much time with friends. Lately, I have really had time to become the healthiest version of myself. Under that umbrella of becoming the healthiest version of myself, you know, that included not only figuring out what's going on with my body internally, eating clean foods, kind of working on that. Externally, what do my workouts look at? Mentally, how am I spending my time? How am I de-stressing? And also too spiritually, I've been spending a lot of time with Jesus, reading the Bible, working on my spiritual religion, relationship with Christ. So like all these like different things I've been working on and like all little aspects of my life. But all I can say is like the work has been paying off. Like I have just felt so good lately. I've had a ton of energy. I know so much of that has contributed to really honing in on my health. Again, going back to just some of the things that I've had going on and just prioritizing myself and making sure that everything I'm putting into my body is serving me and different things like that. So, man, life has been good. And I've had so much time recently socially with my friends, which I'm always a very busy person. I'm a social person, but having truly like non-work related time with my friends, because I work with a lot of friends and the different things that I do, but getting to go to lunches and dinners and out at night. I took the girls trip a couple weeks ago to Scottsdale, getting coffee with friends, brunch, like all these amazing things. My life feels so abundantly full. It feels so full. And so I think it's always great to prioritize yourself. And when you feel full, when you feel good, then the idea and the juices get flowing and all the things. And I've had some really great conversations this week with friends that really kind of inspired this conversation that I want to have here today. A couple other things that are going on with me. You know, I'm working with the Dayton Dragons. It's been so much fun. If you're in the Dayton area and you haven't been out to your Dragons game, I feel like every family does like one or two Dragons games a year. You know, I mean, we got our diehard fans, but every time I talk to somebody, I'm like, oh, do you come to Dragons games often? They're like, we do like one or two a year. It's like the family standard in Dayton, you know, but we do have our diehard, you know, Dragons fans as well. But if you haven't been out to your Dragons game for the summer, make sure you do hit me up. I'll let you know which games I'm working so you can come see me on the mic on the field as Samantha, your in-game green team host with the legend Madison. And we got Tyler, captain as well. Anyway, having such a good time with the Dragons, my good friends. I'm just making such great relationships with them. We're having so much fun. I'm still working at the Appliance Gallery with Joe. People are always like, are you still doing the Appliance Gallery thing? I am, not just commercials. I am actually working there. I do some bookkeeping, some marketing, but I've like condensed my schedule, right? Like things were like kind of so chaotic and my life is still very busy, but I was like, girl, you need a schedule. So, you know, I'm there certain days a week and stuff like that. So it's going well with Joe. Still teaching my classes at Shred 415 over the summer, which has been great. You know, I love teaching fitness, got my own new workout routine going. Like, it's so full. And then I recently got connected with Heyman Talent Agency, and your girl's coming on as a commercial model and actor if they can get me some gigs. So maybe you'll see me in like a Pepto-Bismol commercial soon. Who knows, right? But you know, I've always got something going on. So even when I have been working on fulfilling my cup and prioritizing health. You know, I always got something going on in the background. You know, it's just how I live my life. So, but I want to talk today about the idea of success. And how do you find success in the things that you do? I feel very blessed that I have such great friends. And in multiple conversations this week, God, I love my friends and family. People kind of communicated to me or articulated, they're like, Sam, you find success in the things that you do. Like anytime you kind of set your mind to something, you make it happen. Like if you say, I'm going to do this, then Samantha does that. And I had one friend that very lovingly was like, Sam, when you step into a space, you do what you achieve and so much beyond that. And thank you to my friends and people who've shared that with me this week. And I spent some time thinking about that because, I just kind of do my things, right? Like I do my things and I do want to be successful and I do want to reach my goals. Absolutely. I love doing that. I have a lot of confidence when I step into something because of my track record. But I kind of got to thinking, I was like, how am I able to do those things? Like if I do say I want to become a master instructor, how did I make that happen? Or if I do say I want to win Mrs. Ohio, how did I make that happen? Or if I say, I want to start a podcast show and release episodes every week, like how do I make that happen, become successful, like all these different things? And so I was like, are there key things that I'm doing in each situation that are contributing to reaching those goals that maybe I could let people know, like, hey, you could find the same type of success if you set out to do something. Before we can really dive into what I think are three, I've narrowed it down to three, although we know hard work is way more than three things, but I think three pretty key factors in finding success, reaching your goals. I think before we can dive into that, we have to open up the conversation of what is success? That's personal. Success is personal. Success for somebody may be money. I think that a lot of people's mind goes to money. You're like, are you successful? How much money do you make? For some people, that may be. It may be a dollar sign. It may be like a certain amount. For some people, success may be a title. What are your title? What do you hold? Are you the CEO? Are you the owner? Are you the boss? Some people, success might be the impact that you have in the community. How many people have you impacted? How many people are you reaching? Success might look like that. Success might be more personal on a family level. What does your family dynamic look like? How many kids do you have? What kind of home do you run? So like success can be defined in so many different ways. It's absolutely a personal thing here, right? For the sake of today's conversation, I want us to think about success related to goals or something that you want to achieve or something that you've set out to do. Okay. So, but I think before you even get there, like if you just put the blanket statement out there, I want to be successful. Well, honey, what does that mean? What do you mean you want to be successful? So you have to like really think about what that is for you before you can go find and achieve success. You got to know what you're working for. So, let's dive into it. So I think the very first thing when I think of what it takes to be successful, what it takes to reach your goals is consistency and discipline. And that covers all the groundwork, right? That kind of covers like the basis of a lot of achieving anything, which is you got to put in the work to receive the success. Consistency and discipline is huge. Consistency, discipline. What I mean is showing up again and again and again. Your follow through, there's so many times where I see people set out on a goal. And goals take time. The good shit takes time to achieve, right? And somebody sets out on to achieve something. They get maybe 6 months in and, oh man, I'm giving up. I haven't achieved it yet. Like I'm giving up. Okay, well, go back to my episode. If you quit when you're told no, it was never your dream to begin with, right? So good things take time and your ability to consistently show up. The good days, the bad days, to continue to grind. Your follow-through. I'm encompassing a lot under this kind of first thing here. Your ability to follow through. Holy moly. Do you know how many people don't follow through with the things that they say they're going to do? I'm talking as simple as, let's say you make a connection with someone and they say, hey, I know somebody that does what it is you want to do. They're a good friend of mine. I'm going to connect you with them. You should get coffee with them and chat. Do you do it? It like blows my mind how many people don't follow through when things like connections are made or someone says, let me give you a resource. And the person who's working to achieve a goal or do something doesn't take advantage of these gifts that are literally given to them. Connections. Man, who you know is everything. is everything. And people just don't follow through. I'll go back to the example of my Mrs. Ohio journey. We had Nellie come talk to us. She's the owner creator of Wealthy Mama Movement. And she came and spoke at one of our pageant workshops to all these women, right? And Nellie told this story, not me, but at this event that we went to, we heard Nellie speak. I was like, man, she's really inspirational. She's really motivational. At the end of her speech, she said, if any of you want a 30-minute, no sales pitch, just call to hype you up. Let me know and we'll schedule one. I was like, hell yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. I reach out to Nellie. She says, the pageant was a couple months away. She's like, love this, would love to connect with you. Reach out to me a couple weeks before the pageant so you can be fresh in the hype and all that. I said, okay, great. I reach out to her a couple weeks before the pageant. She gladly sets up the phone call. I had an awesome phone call with her. I was starting to doubt myself. She really kind of built up my confidence. It was a beautiful connection. And I went on. Now, did that moment help me win the pageant? I don't know. No. I mean, probably all the months of work that I did, but it was an impactful moment for me. It really helped me change my mindset. Nellie shared after the fact that out of all the women at the workshop, a handful reached out and asked to set up the call. When she said, reach out to me closer, only one person reached out and actually connected with her for that phone call. I followed through. I'm not saying, again, that that's what contributed to my success, but I'm saying, why are we not following through with opportunities that are presented to us right in front of, you know what I mean? So when it comes to success, your ability to be consistent, your ability to follow through, your ability to work hard when shit gets tough is going to lead to your success. I always say the people who win, the people who are achievers are the ones who keep going, period. The ones who just keep going. If you give up, if you quit, well, you're obviously never going to get there. So the determination, the consistency, the follow through, the using the resources, truly putting the time and effort that it takes into achieving what you want to do. I mean, that could just cover it. Let's just wrap the episode up right now. That's it, right? Hard work. But I do think that there are two other things that really contribute to success. The second thing that I believe is really important when it comes to finding success, achieving your goals, getting what you want. You got to be humble. Look, I know if any of my friends are listening to this, they'd be like, Sam, you said humble? She's confident. I'm confident. I get that. But when I step into a new space, regardless of the knowledge I know that I have up here, I'm going to be an open book ready to learn. And I will absolutely do everything in my power to check the ego at the door. Because if you have ego stepping into a situation or stepping into something that you want to achieve, you will never find growth, therefore inhibiting your ability to grow and find success. Makes sense. Here is kind of my personal example in this. I worked for Cycle Bar for 7 years. As a senior master instructor for 5 years, meaning I traveled the country and trained fitness instructors on how to deliver a top-notch, incredible fitness experience. I got a lot of knowledge in that department. I will tell you, when I stepped into Shred 415, knowing that I had a shit ton of applicable knowledge in this industry that I could apply in that experience, I told myself going into Shred that I was going to step into that space as a brand new student because I knew that there was so much more for me to learn. When we allow ourselves to learn from other people, we just continue to grow. And it was such an amazing experience to really open yourself up to say, hey, I never thought about that. Oh, wow. How do I execute that? What do you think I should do to be successful in this space? What can you share with me in anything that you step into? A little bit different, but when I got into pageantry, obviously I was very brand new. I'd never done pageantry before. So I really was Bambi trying to stand on my legs for the first time ever. 6-inch heels, but same difference, So I really did have to be a student because I knew nothing. I didn't even know what I wear. What shoes do I buy? All these things. But when you allow yourself to truly be a student, to just check the ego at the door, you can gain so much. And we can do that in any space. When I started with the Dayton Dragons and they put me on the mic on the field, I'm like, how do I sound? Do I need to change my pitch? Do I need to change my speed? I've been talking on a mic for almost 10 years. If you include my time as a fitness instructor and all these things, I know a lot about speaking on a microphone, But stepping in that space, like I gotta know what it's like in that space. Like it could be something totally different. And I truly believe that a lot of my success that I have found and my ability to achieve is my willingness to be a student at all times, to ask for feedback at all times. And sometimes you like sweat, right? Like I'll never forget, like again, like one of my first shred classes, I had a fellow instructor come to class and I was like, do it, Sam, do it. And I was like, do you have honest feedback for me? Like lay it on me. And she did. And it was wonderful feedback that I could then apply and grow from. I think we shy away from feedback, or we get nervous or we get uncomfortable because we don't want to hear that we failed, or we don't want to hear that we could be doing better, or we get embarrassed that we did that. It's so helpful to receive that feedback. And yes, sometimes it stings. It stings, but that is crucial to your ability to grow and to get better. So being humble, if you step into a space thinking that you already know it all, then why are you in that space? Like if you think you already know it all, then why are you not at the top? Why have you not found that success already? Like you're not. Humble yourself. You can be confident. Confidence and ego are two different things. We could break a whole episode down on the difference in ego and confidence. And so just knowing the difference. Confidence is a skill that you learn, believing that you can achieve something, being willing to take the steps and overcoming fear, doing things despite of fear. Ego thinks you just think you're the shit and nobody can tell you anything and you're the best. All right. You're not going to find success with that mindset. So check your ego at the door, show up humble. That's my second tip there. The third tip, potentially underrated, is gratitude, period. Gratitude. For every step of the journey, for every rejection, for every bit of feedback, for every person that opens the door. I'm talking about the person who holds the door open as you walk into the company where you plan to be the CEO one day. Gratitude for each step of the process, the journey, the growth. When you have gratitude, you learn to appreciate each day so much more. If you can be thankful for this moment right here, right now, it's so much more fulfilling. I had an opportunity come up recently where I don't know the outcome yet. Don't know how it's going to go. Don't know if I'm going to get the gig. Don't know how it's going to work out. And for me, it was really important to say thank you to the person who even considered me for the opportunity, who even put my name in the hat for the opportunity. Like, wow, like somebody actually thought I could potentially do that. Like that is something I'm so thankful for. Like just don't underestimate the power of gratitude through each step, because I truly believe it keeps you going. If you can say one person believed me, or shoot, maybe it's just thank you to God that you were in the right place at the right time, or had the inspiration to go for whatever it is that you want to achieve anyway. Like if you could show up with gratitude in each moment of your journey, then you can learn to love that process. And if you don't love that process, you're going to quit. We're going back to step number 1 here. You're going to give up way early on. So you have to have gratitude for each moment, the hard moments. Shit, can you have gratitude for the no's? Can you have gratitude for when people say no to you? When they say, no, not you. When you get rejected, that's really hard to have gratitude when people reject you. But if it inspires drive, the willingness to go back, to learn, to come back stronger, again, maybe we have gratitude for the no's, the rejections, the not yous, the not right nows. Mindset. It all comes down to mindset, doesn't it? So discipline, look, the first one's a big one, right? It's like your very like tangible actions here, but the discipline, the consistency, the hard work, the follow through, right? That's like number 1. It's like the actual action you have to take to achieve your goals and find success. But the second thing is being humble, checking your ego at the door, and being a student at all times. And the third key to success, I believe, is having absolute gratitude for every moment in the process as you work your way toward whatever it is that you want to achieve. Each one of these steps are things that I have implemented in the different things that I do in my life that I have found success in. And am I an expert? No. There are a lot of things that I fail at. so grateful for those failures because it has either redirected me towards something that is better for me, or it has inspired me and motivated me and lit a fire to go back and work harder and do it again. So gratitude in each piece of it, and learning just to kind of love life, the experience, and the journey that it is. So, wow, yo, this has been so much fun. Dropping a random podcast episode on a random Sunday out of nowhere is not good for viewership, listens, downloads, and exposure. One thing that I've learned in my podcast journey is that podcast episodes are good with consistency, a niche topic, yada, yada. Your listeners know how long the episode's going to be, what we're talking about, what day it's going to drop. Yeah, this defies all that. So in order for this episode to get out, you got to like it, share it, let people know that the Samantha Show dropped a new episode. And it would mean so much if you pass this on to somebody who you think may benefit from it, or even share it on your social media. And just always follow along, keep in touch, because I got more coming. Like, I'm not done with the podcast scene. I talked about this. I just want to drop episodes when it feels right, when I feel inspired, when I feel like I got something to say. So I hope you have a great Sunday. I hope your life stays abundant and full, and I hope you find success in everything that you do. So have a great day. It's been fun. You deserve it.